Let's get this thing on the road. We've got brake lines, coolant pressure testing and filling, accelerator pedal installation, steering rack, tie rods, everything all tight, sway bar, front links installed. Then we can go for that drive.
All this is pretty standard stuff, tightening things on the underside of the car. We got our sway bar links that we put in, pretty standard stuff. And then we started working onto the steering rack, which is an important thing. I want to show you what I did here. I used calipers to make sure that the tie rods were, that the steering rack was completely centered, and made sure that the distance between the same features on both sides of the rack were the same. When they were, then I was able to lengthen or shorten the tie rods accordingly to get the wheels look like they were centered. That's what I'm doing right now. Then you put your steering wheel on, make sure that your canceller is in the correct position, make sure that the steering wheel is centered, and then it's going to be a little off. And that's where you go and get your professional alignment done. But this is a great way to get a nice rough alignment.
All right, so now let's look inside here. So we've got our accelerator pedal base, and we've got the stopper for the original accelerator pedal, which needs to come out. So when this comes out, it's actually going to reveal a hole there that we need to tap into. And then this guy is going to end up sitting down. It's going to be pretty far away from that hole. As you can see, it's not going to line up. So we need to create and build an adapter bracket that adapts this location to its new location somewhere up here. There it is. All right, so now we're pumping the coolant system. We got our reservoir installed, and we've got just a mock-up hose here for the overflow that just goes across. We don't have any longer hose. We'll have to put that in another time, but for now, we're just going to pressurize this system and just see how well it holds. And right now, I hear something. Yeah, what is that? All right, looks like it was just our test line here that was a little leaky. Again, that line's going to get replaced. What pressure are you up to, Dan?
5 PSI.
5 PSI, great.
So the idea here is that if we can test pressure at like 10 to 15 PSI and hold that for probably about 15 to 20 minutes without any measurable drop in pressure, after of course checking for our leaks, I think we're going to be in really good shape and have a lot of confidence to put that coolant in and not have any really bad gross leaks that wouldn't be fixed by just tightening a hose clamp. The last big major milestone before we can drive this thing is brakes. So we've got a brand new ABS setup. This is a completely new refurbished ABS system from Jordan Surrett, and it is a very high quality M3 specific, so the solenoids are a little bit bigger, the outputs are a little bit bigger for the bigger brakes. Very nice setup here. So what we're going to do is we've already got our custom mount locations. Here we have our rear brake line that came from the back of the car, and we're going to essentially install it in the location that it belongs, and everything else, all those brake lines, will only be plumbed up to meet it. It's going to be a lot of brake line bending, and now we've got to plumb it.
Man, this was fun. Bending all these brake lines, everything was brand new. We had our nickel copper lines, we had brand new fittings, we had our beautiful ABS pump. We cut, we flared, we bent. It was a great time. It was like building our own custom set with brand new stuff. All we did here was just fill the system, open up all the bleeders at each wheel, and just let it normally. Took time. It took about 2 or 3 hours for all the 4 wheels to drip, but it worked, and it worked well.
So we got the right hose here for the expansion tank to the radiator, and we have pressure tested the system with air to 10 PSI about 20 to 25 minutes ago. And let's see how it's holding pressure, because anything less than 10 PSI is going to be a fail, and we got to find the leak. Look at that. Right on the dot. So we are perfect now. We can relieve the air pressure, start filling with coolant, and we can start running this thing now that we've got coolant, we've got brakes, we've got oil, we've got power steering. Let's get those tires on, let's get the seat in, let's go for a drive.
Reinstalled, I can now do another start and see if I can actually move the wheels when I put it into first. right, so I have a little bit of an exhaust leak right under the, right on the head. And I believe that there's actually a hole that has to be plugged up because it was part of the secondary air pump system. That's that click, 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 click that you hear. But for now, let's see if I can get the wheels to move. All right, now that I got the car on, let me just rock it a little bit back and forth. Now, I don't have a seat in it, so I gotta be really careful about how I feather the clutch. Whew. Oops. Too fast. That's all right. That was good. All right. Another one. Let's move on.
Unfortunately, my mic was out on this, so I'm just gonna have to ad-lib for fun. Okay, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this Recaro seat in, and hopefully it fits, hopefully it lines up. We'll just have to see. Oh, it's so light. Oh, man. I could just pick up 4 of these. Let me see. Okay, looking good there, looking good there. All right, looks like these holes are gonna line up. Presto Pondo, we got a good seat.
All right, now that the seat is installed, or at least mostly installed, we're gonna see. Well, yeah, we had 3 out of 4 bolts in. As Meatloaf once said, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Well, this is really low. But Ruben's a larger guy, so I think that this will fit really nice for him. Nice. Oh. There you go, guys. We got it moving on its own power. Stay tuned to the next episode when we get this thing lifted in the air. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching, and I'm out of here. Later.